Well, hello, and welcome to Jono and Ellie's Magical Kitchen, where we'll show you how to make your own kitchen magical. Today, we're making pita, and I already mixed some of the ingredients together, which we'll cut to right now.
Take a cup of this flour, a cup of this warm water, and 0.25 ounces of this, which is yeast. See the little yeasty balls? And you put it in your big bowl and you whisk it. We just want to whisk it so that it all incorporates. And this is what's going to become our pita.
You let it sit for like 15 to 20 minutes and then it gets all bubbly like this. Oh, and I already see a dog hair in there. Okay, crisis averted. Okay, so it's been a while, a little longer than 15 to 20 minutes, but it's fine. And our dough sponge is nice and bubbly. So now we're going to add 1 3/4 cup. Well, take two. 1 3/4 cups flour, and 1.5 tablespoons olive oil, and 1.5 tablespoons of salt. So let's go dump that stuff in there. Okay, olive oil. Smells pretty bready. Flour. And then I like to put the salt in last because if you put salt directly on yeast, like our yeast is all mixed in, but still, whatever. If you put yeast and salt together, the yeast won't make your bread as fluffy and it doesn't work as well. So it's good to keep your salt a little bit separate until you have to mix it in. So we're gonna do that. And then we're gonna mix this until, what was it? Until what?
Soft and supple?
Until it's soft and supple. So we've got our dough hook attachment, which is important because this is the one that we use for bread. So it's like Captain Hook for Peter Pan. He probably makes really good bread. Why are you rolling? This is gross. So our dough is looking soft and supple. And now we have to let the machine do the kneading, which is like normally you do that kind of on the countertop with the heel of your hand, but we have a machine to do it. So we're gonna let it go for like 5 or 6 minutes, and then we'll come back. Hi. So we're back. It's been like 5 to 6 minutes, and this is our dough. You can see we've developed a lot of luxurious gluten. So now we're gonna take it off the dough hook, which I kind of greased up my hand a little bit to make this easier so it doesn't stick to my hand and it just comes right off. All right. Take our bowl over here. So then you're gonna put it on a floured surface, so I need a little flour. And I like to use a cutting board sometimes because it makes cleanup a little easier so it's not right on the countertop. Okay, so now I'm gonna get the dough. Oh, we got it. Okay, we just got a couple more little bits. Okay, so now we're gonna get some flour on it so it doesn't stick too much. So you just turn it over and make sure there's flour on every side. So we don't have to knead it here because that's what the machine did. So now we're just shaping it into a ball. So you kind of like fold it under itself. So like see how the bottom's all rough but the top is smooth? So we're just making it into a nice ball. Okay, so I'm gonna gather it all up. So like that looks pretty good. All right, now I greased this bowl. Oh no, oh no, okay. So I greased this bowl and we're gonna put the dough with this like kind of rough bottom side. We're gonna put that in the bottom. And now we're gonna loosely cover it. I have a nice lid, but you can use a towel that's been floured. You wanna put a little flour on the bottom of your towel, like the part that's gonna go over the bowl. because now the bread's gonna rise, and as it rises, it might touch this lid or the towel, and you don't want it to stick. So I just put a little oil on the lid, but you can put flour on your towel. And now we're gonna let it sit for 2 hours so that it rises and gets all fluffy and puffy. All right, see you then. Okay, I know it took a long time, but 2 hours was worth it. Because check this out. Ba-bam! It's beautiful. So now we are going to take this beautiful, fluffy, inflated dough and put it onto a floured surface. So again, I'm using a cutting board. I have a bunch of flour on there. And because we put oil around the bowl, this dough should just slip right out. Oh gosh, a little stringy. Okay, so we're gonna kind of do the same thing we did before. Kind of coat it a little bit with some flour so it doesn't stick to our hands. And now you don't want to squish it because then you'll lose all that air that we just spent 2 hours trying to get. So you're just gonna pat it flat. So it's about 1 inch thick, and I have it's called a bench scraper, and it has like a ruler on it. So it'll tell me if it's 1 inch thick, which kind of is. So now we're going to cut this into 8 pieces, roughly. So what I'm going to do, because it's going to be easier if we just cut it, this is fractions, guys. I'm going to cut it lengthwise, so we have 2 big long pieces. And then we're going to cut it down the middle. So now we have 4. And then we're going to cut each of those in half. All right, and let's count. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Perfect. So then you take each of your little pieces, and just like we did before, you fold the edges under itself to create a nice smooth top, and then your bottom's gonna be all those little pieces bunched up. You can also do it like this, like if it's easier to hold it in your palm and kind of pinch it with your other hand, that works too, and you get a nice little ball there. Either way works. And then we're gonna put it on our baking tray. So this is just a holding station because we're gonna shape all these, and then it's gonna sit for another half hour. So it's kind of a long process, but if you like go read a book for those 2 hours, and then during this next half hour, maybe you go like take a bath or comb your hair, you know, do a little chore, the time flies by. So now that we have all of our pitas shaped into their balls, we're going to cover it with a towel, and this is one of our favorites, over the pita, and it's going to rise one more time for a half hour. See you then. Welcome back. What did you do in your half hour? I put this on. So it's been 30 minutes. The dog's drinking. And we have some beautiful, they rose a bit again. They're like perfectly round little, like, bloop, 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 little dimples. So now we're gonna take them one at a time on your floured surface again. Ooh, they're very sticky. Put that sticky side right in the flour, and then flip it over. And then you're just gonna really gently pat it to kind of stretch it out a little. And this is where it starts to look more like your pita bread. So you just gently, because you don't want to just squish it, because again, you lose all that air that you just got from letting it rise. So we're just going to kind of stretch it, almost like pizza dough, just nice and gentle. And then once you get it to stretch out a bit, okay, so we're just going to keep pulling it a little bit, kind of like pizza. And then we're going to use our bench scraper again with the ruler on it. And we want it to be about 1/4 inch thick. Okay, so yeah, we're good. So then we're gonna carefully put that back on the tray. And we're gonna take the next one, and then we're just gonna do the same thing, because then while you're stretching out this one gets to rest a little bit longer. So by the time we're done, we can start cooking the first one we stretched, okay? So we will see you when these are all pita shapes. Last one. So now, time to cook. We've got some olive oil and we've got a frying pan. If you have a cast iron pan, that's even better. So we have it on medium-high heat, and then we're gonna put a splash of olive oil in there. And we'll probably have to put more in there, like, as we go, as we cook the different pitas. Okay, so I'm gonna let that heat up a little bit. It's not hot enough yet.
Greek pancake.
Let's take another peek. Get a shot of that. So
Getting there.
yeah, let's flip it. Whoa!
Oh,
Ooh. Whoop. Guys, look at the bubbles on that one. It's so cool.
Last one. Okay, here we go. Aww. So as you can see, these are our done ones, and they have some fun bubbles. Very excited about all these nodules. So it's like 11 o'clock at night, so we are going to save these for tomorrow for breakfast. Yeah. Hope you guys make this recipe. It's super yummy. Fills your house with a nice bread smell. Who doesn't love that? Yeah, until next time on Jono and Ellie's Magical Kitchen. We love you. Bye. So, we've got 4 eggs, 2 for each of us, and I put a little splash of cream in there to make them fluffy, and then a little bit of cheese. And now we're gonna cook them up. Shake it. Spotlight. Done in the pan, overdone on the plate. Let's get going. So I turn the heat off. I'm gonna grab our pita. So there you go. And you can use pita to make pizzas. You can just eat it like with hummus. And it's bread. You can do anything you want. Enjoy.
That was really good, guys.